Good morning, world. It is another sunny day. This is like unreal for Elkhart. We're getting sun every day. I need to get my garage fixed though, because my car is covered in frost. So I've not gotten near as much studying done as I'd like to, but it's because yesterday I did not feel good, so I rested all day. So today I feel fine again. Davisito is super sick, and Serenity she's on the mend. She's doing better, but it's a house of germs we have today. Yuck. Do you ever have like so much on your mind and so much to say, you can't you don't know where to start or how to say it. So it's instead of telling stories, I'm gonna talk about my tattoo. I don't have any tattoos, none. But I designed a tattoo in my head, and I'm just waiting for someone to draw the vision in my brain because I'm not artistic enough to actually draw. But the tattoo represents me. And so I've talked about before the spider web metaphor for the connection of humanity and relationships, and how I use that to explain restorative justice. The idea that you cut a line, you weaken the relationship. And if you don't do anything about it, it not only creates more and more damage to that direct connection, but the damage grows outward in ways you never even suspect. Whereas you take the time, which it's hard to sew that connection back up and reconnect it, then the relationship's actually stronger than it was before the conflict or wrongdoing or whatever had happened. And so that's what restorative justice teaches us, is that we live in relationship, and relationships matter throughout our community, within our neighbors, our families, businesses, to people, to government, to businesses, like across the board. We function in relationship, and that we need to actively work on maintaining those relationships. And it's just part of being a human that you're going to do wrong. Like, there's no way around that. So the other part that I'm kind of swimming in right now is the idea that it's like breaking those relationships is what actually creates stronger relationships. And so I frequently, like throughout my life, like the people get that yin yang tattoo put on them, and or draw yin yangs or whatever, and it's kind of cliche, but the reality is I feel like I intrinsically, maybe not intrinsically, I don't know, like I strongly identify throughout my life with this idea of the yin yang, and I'm really comfortable in it. And it's the swimming around of opposites, and that there's always kind of this mixture of good and bad, or black and white, and it all mixes together, and it's okay. And I would go as far as to even say that the mixture of, we'll just say for simplicity's sake, good and bad together isn't a judgment call, but just a reality of the normalcy of life. And so with that, I would say that that I'm really comfortable with that just throughout my life. I remember when Big David had first gone back to Mexico, and it was horrible, and it was so overwhelming to like parent without him. And I also realized how much easier it was, because instead of saying like, "Oh, you watch the kid while I do this," or "You take care of that and I'll do this," instead of like not getting along or arguing over who's going to do what, I just had to do everything. It was all on me. And so that sounds stressful, but it's actually like there's good in that too. There is really good in just taking care of stuff yourself and not having to fight with someone else about like what the decision's going to be. And sometimes in life, it's way better to have someone to make decisions with. And so that's life. So I dream of, I want this tattoo on like my leg of a real spider web that like is shaded so that you can see the yin yang within the spider web. But I also, like, spider webs are often very masculine, and I would define myself as like feminine and fierce and vulnerable. And so I want the artist to be able to kind of like depict that in their drawing, which means it's not super geometric, but rather it's organic. So, subs, if you can draw, I've been waiting.